There were a lot of old guys in this race, and if I was the oldest guy in this race, it certainly wasn't by much. Hey, cycling community, this is Steve Grusis, the Cycling Greek. I am 68, and we have 25 starters in this race. And rather than my look through everybody's profile to see if anyone's older, just give a shout out if you are. This race is a little over 25 miles and it took us a little over an hour to do. There is a moderate but yet significant amount of climbing in each lap. And there are 5 laps, as you can tell by the graphics that are right in the middle up above. If you look up ahead, you'll see a rider in a purple jersey. He's first of many riders that tried to get away and groups of riders that try to get away during this race. It's early for somebody to try to get away, and it may be that he's just trying to soften up the pack as he's super strong. At about the 2-mile mark, another rider tries to get away. I wasn't familiar with the course, and being lap 1, I was going to learn about the course. What I did learn is that about halfway through the lap, that's when the climbing starts. After that rider was eventually brought back, there was a counter, and then there was another counter. And now, about a few tenths of a mile later, because we're at 2.6 miles, we have, I believe it's Kaz that has taken off. Kaz is 55. He is joined by Tristan, who is 42. At least his listed as 42. His picture says that he's maybe closer to my age, but you never know. As I alluded to earlier, we're now about to start the climbing. About a third of the way through that climb, somebody with the designation RF took off, and we've been chasing him. I've been doing my best to stay on wheels and not actually go to the front to try and chase, because I've been putting out some power just to try and stay with these guys. And so now this is toward the end of the climb, toward the end of the first lap, and we were able to finally catch him. So that kind of changed the tactics in terms of what I was able to see. On the flats on the first half of the second lap, no one really attacked. However, right at the start of the climbing, Burns takes off with McDonald's trying to get on his wheel, and Thomas going after him and Rose going after him. Basically, we're all now getting stretched out. And I'm getting stretched out. If you look at my wattage in the upper left-hand corner, I'm at about 360 watts, 370, and I'm falling back. So now I'm starting to think maybe these guys are going for a sprint point, but why would that be happening in this race? So I'm trying to hang on as long as I can. I'm hoping that they all kind of bunch up and slow up, but damn, I'm still going backwards. I had to let up a few pedal strokes earlier, and now I've got my wattage back up, but not by much. I'm not hitting 300 anymore. So now I'm with this group, and I'm hoping that 1, I can stay with them, and 2, that I get pulled back to the leaders. And I'm also thinking this is only the second lap. While I was relying on everyone else to pull me up, I think everyone else had the same idea. That meant I couldn't sit on wheels as much as I wanted to, and I had to do a lot more work than I really wanted to. Even though it feels like I'm going into hypoxia, I have enough sense to look at the graphics on the right and see that those that are in front of me are about 3 to 4 seconds away. Now they're 2 to 3 seconds away. I'm spinning maniacally. I'm just about there. I can't get my wattage. I finally get above 4.0, 4.4 now, watts per kilogram. And boom, I make contact. The next thing that crosses my mind is, damn, we're almost done with the second lap. I have 3 more to do. And that's quickly replaced by, hey, we're not at the top yet, and these guys are still pushing it. I'm now at 5 watts per kilogram, and I'm almost going backwards. Of those 5 riders that are in front of me, a couple of names have attacked earlier. They are motivated. Fortunately, I make it over the top with the leaders. As we start the climbing in the third lap, we are now down to a lead group of 11, maybe 12. All of a sudden they attack, and I'm at the back, and I'm putting out 350, 370 watts, and the gap in front of me is growing. Again, I'm hoping they slow down a bit, but my legs, I'm starting to run out of gas. In this case, gas means muscularity. Yes, I'm breathing like a racehorse, but it's my muscles where I'm feeling it. I have to let up because, really, I have no choice. So we're over halfway done to the race. We're a little over 32 minutes, approaching 33 minutes into the race, and under 12 miles. So now I start to look at the graphics on the right-hand side. I see there's somebody that's about 18 seconds behind me and 34 seconds behind me, and that the people in front of me, the closest one is about 8 seconds, but they're going at a much higher wattage than I am. They're at about 4.4, and I'm at about 3 at my top end right now. I figure I'm not going to catch those in front of me, so what I can do for the rest of the race is try to stay away from Rose, that's right behind me by now, 22 seconds. So I figure I'll try and stay around 3 to 3.5, which I can now hit, and I'll see if I can just do tempo, maybe a little threshold for the rest of the race. So that means another 30 minutes. 1 lap and 16 minutes later, I'm caught by Chris Rose, age 44. I stay behind him for just a little bit, and then I go to the front and then try to get away from him, thinking that maybe he's used a lot of energy to close that last bit of the gap. Well, it was a nice idea, but that really didn't work out. He got right onto my wheel. For the rest of that last lap, I pretty much stayed on Rose's wheel. And I didn't care where Kaz was, and he was coming up on us, and as you can see, that he actually caught us. You may remember Kaz from earlier when he put in an attack early in the race. Now that I'm next to Kaz, I look at his avatar, and he's pretty muscular, which means that he's carrying extra weight, at least more weight than what I'm carrying. Now Rose attacks, and we're still in the climbing section, even though we're about 2 miles to go, and I'm trying to get down to Rose. So this causes Kaz to drop back, and he's dropping back pretty quickly. So now it's just the two of us, and we are vying for 11th place. Rose just takes off again, and I just don't have the legs to be able to go with him. I'm hoping that he's slow, so I'm trying to go as strong as I can, as consistently as I can. But I'm not getting much above 3.5, and in fact, now I'm down below 200 watts. As it ends up, Rose beats me by 10 seconds. I beat Kaz by 14. This race turned out to be a very good workout. I think the winner was age 55, and then in the top 5 we had a 65-year-old. I hope you enjoyed this and you got something out of it. As always, remember, comment, like, subscribe. The Cycling Greek.